Hey tubers, it's Bluey Nought. Yep, as you can tell, it's another pickup video, and it's been a while. Not a huge lot of pickups to show you guys. For like many people, money's a bit tight, especially this time of year with school holidays coming and stuff like that, and we always have to have our car MOT'd and repaired or serviced, and that always comes with a hidden cost, so that will usually cost a few bob each year too. So yeah, so not a huge amount. It's mostly modern games. There's a few retro goodies, and but there are things that you don't tend to see in the UK shops as well, so it's of interest to collectors, I'm sure. Well, forgetting, which I almost just did, final of the month. I got these a few months ago, to be perfectly honest. One is a single. It is Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba, a classic song from the noughties. I think it was the noughties. I think it was early noughties. I could be wrong. Was it, or was it late 90s? Let me thinking now. I know Julia Fordman did the vocals, didn't she? And it's a classic song. 1997, believe it or not. Yeah, that's how long ago. Bloody Woman Inc. It's on time. And a bit earlier than that is another old album, Betty Boo Boo Mania. This wasn't a huge amount of money. About £8 off eBay. About some good popping tunes like Doon the Do. Hey JJ, I Can't Dance. And Where Are You Baby, of course. So, yep. I don't know if people knew, but I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I've been collecting all the DVDs and everything else, and I've got a few bits of memorabilia too. I was looking into getting the Tom Baker autobiography, and it's fetching a pretty bob price, to be perfectly honest. To get a hardback edition, usually it's about £20 at least on eBay, but I did manage to get one that was pretty mint for £10. So this is Who on Earth is Tom Baker, an autobiography. I think he did it, it was about 10 years ago or something like that, or maybe a bit more than that. But obviously it covers the most important part of his career as the Doctor and stuff. So looking forward to reading that. Some interesting photos in there too. And also when I was doing a bit of stuff on looking at Tom Baker on Amazon, I came across this CD collection. He did Tom Baker Reads A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, so an audio novel. I mean, we all know the story of Christmas Carol, but to hear it read by Tom Baker, that's pretty neat. And this was probably about the £8 price from eBay, so not bad. Not bad. It's got to support the old boy. Not that you get to see any of that money, but you know what I mean. Okay, I've got a couple of magazines here. I mean, Games Master magazine's still going, as we know, but it's been going for an awfully long time, since the 80s, I believe. So I was thinking of getting a couple of, copies just to market, really. So I got one from 1998 when I seriously got into game collecting, and again another one 10 years later when my daughter was born, Caitlin. So from 1998 we have this copy, Games Master with South Park and Tomb Raider 3 and F-Zero, Spyro, Zelda, Link's Quest, and Metal Gear Solid, and a few other goodies in there. Actually expect the older Games Masters money do cost a bit more, so I think that was about £8 with postage. And I got one from 2008, which is probably about a £5 with postage, with Daleks on top. So two interesting issues to mark that era. So I just thought I'd get them, bag them up, and keep them minty just for prosperity. Obviously to read and stuff, but it's also a bit of nostalgia too. Okay, games. One Switch game, which from Limited Run. I pre-ordered this, and then about a few months later they also released it on the PS4, so I ordered it again, so I double dipped. I tend to go for PS4 over Switch, but with certain games, especially if they're by Rising, about Gregor, if they ever get released on Switch, or any cave game and stuff like that, or anything by Rising as well. I tend to double dip more than anything else, really. But this one, I don't think it's by Rising at all. It's still a quite a modern bullet hell, Jamestown Plus. So it's good to have that. Then on the PS5, jumping on the current system, from Limited Run again, we've got LucasArts. What was a Lucasfilm and LucasArts IP, but I think it's made by Devolver more than anything else. And that is Return to Monkey Island. It's a nice point and click game with funny elements. Also, from Red Art Games, I've got another shooter, Astro Flame Star Fighter. So those two games you won't see in the shops. They're all imports. And then I've been getting I've been getting back into Borderlands. Played the first game, completed it. Played the second one, got stuck at some stage and gave up. I think I hadn't leveled up enough, and time moved on. And then I was about a month ago I was playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and I really enjoyed that, so I got back into Borderlands. And I'm currently playing Borderlands the Handsome Collection, so I'm playing the prequel, which is a bit nowhere near as good as Tiny Tina. And then after that I'll be going back to playing Borderlands 2, and this time I will try to complete it and do some of the extra DLC bits, including any Tiny Tina bits, because I think the first Tiny Tina sort of Dungeons and Dragons DLC bit is with that game. But also while I was getting that, I thought obviously get the most PS5 version of Borderlands 3, so this is the Ultimate Edition, so again I've got that. And I've got some PS4 games. A cheapie, I think it's about £9 or £8 or £9. It's the Funbox Gas Guzzlers Extreme. It's sort of it's like a car combat game. It's supposed to be quite good, nice, cheap and cheerful. And then we've got I played all the Formula 1 games, so I didn't have this one. This is about £3 or £4 from CX. Formula 1 2015, and then we also have Formula 1 in 2016. We got from Perp Games, I finally managed to get a copy of Madison. This is a game that is getting harder to find, especially on the PS4. I know there's a VR2 version as well, which will probably end up being collectible as well, really. So I'll probably have to get that maybe. It's about 30 odd PSVR2 games on physical, so it's doable to collect, and I think I should, because I reckon they will become collectible, because there's not that many as well. There's tons of digital games, but there's not many physical, and it's real contrast to PSVR 1, which I've been collecting the complete set for, because there's 250 odd games there, and I've got quite a few more to show you of them today. But anyway, Madison, a horror game. I think that's about the £22 mark. Again, this is a good first person shooter game, sort of Doom inspired. Prodeus. That was a lot of money. I got this from Game. This is probably the last game I'll ever buy from Game. No, I didn't get it for that. It was CX, but it was still dirt cheap. It was about £6. Void Bastards or Bastards. I think again it's like a first-person shooter game with maybe some RPG elements thrown in for good measure too. So it's probably a bit like Borderlands. That name, why not? Part of my Sonic collection, Sonic Forces. I got that from CEX again. Yeah, that's about £14 mark. Okay, this was reduced on Amazon sale. Got the first game. This is the second. Arcade Spirits for new challenges. So it's, I'm not sure if it's more visual novel or more just RPG, but still it's loosely based on these characters in a arcade. I collect all the SpongeBob games because they're usually fun, and this was really cheap as well in CX. I think it's about £12. So the Cosmic Shake, and from Limited Run we finally get a physical copy on Modern Systems for Quake 2. Also have the first Quake from Limited Run as well. It's good to have that. And also from Limited Run we finally came the Castlevania Advance Collection. So this has got the Game Boy Advance games on it. So Harmony of Dissonance and Aria of Sorrows and Dracula X, and another one. Is that Curse of the Moon or something? Without my glasses, it's hard to read. Yeah. So yeah, must though. And then we've got some PSVR games. There's only one UK one here. Okay, so we got it's Track Lab. I say UK, it is a European release, so it's got English and some European languages in the back too. Again, that wasn't a lot of money. This one, you can get a English cover version. I think it was it Limited Run or somebody put it out, but it's quite expensive. I think it's about 60 quid. But this is the Korean version. I'm pretty sure it's Korean. It does have English on it, and it's basically a music rhythm game, which is a bit difficult. I think with without a dedicated controller, that's more like an instrument. It's a bit harder to play than it on the normal gamepad. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. It's compatible for VR and non-VR, I believe, and it is Demo Reborn. So I know this game's been on a lot of phones and stuff and digital downloads and that. I think this is the second one in the series, but that's the only one that's got the physical release, I think, or at least on the VR. Okay, we've got some more VR games, and these ones are American exclusives. I didn't know about these. I've done a bit more research because I was pretty much thought there was only about 4 or 5 I needed, and then I did some more research on Wikipedia and so forth, and got some more lists and did some checking and stuff, and I discovered there's probably about another 10 games on top which I do need to get. So I'm slowly getting those while they're not too expensive. Some are Japanese and they are a bit pricey. But this one I got from America. It was a cheap game, but by the time you add import and duty and stuff, it ends up being about a £40 game, and that's Penn and Teller VR. So it would have been about 20 quid, but then it gets doubled. So it's based on the Musicians. And then we have this is a Limited Run game, Tokyo Chronos. Obviously it's like a RPG visual novel with VR elements. And then we got this flying witchy type shooting type game, which looks a bit similar to the awful Superman N64, but I'm sure it's nowhere near as bad as that. You just fly through hoops. And it's Little Witch Academia VR Broom Racing. Not a cheap game. I think this is about 30 quid mark by the time I paid for all the shipping. Right, this game is a combination of games that are you can buy separately, which I do have separately, but I thought I might as well, to complete a VR collection, get the combination disc set too. So it's basically Summer Lesson Hikaru Miyamoto collection. So again, it's a kind of based on these Japanese teenagers and so forth. So I don't think it gets rude or anything. It's just more about teenage life. Yeah, I'm not too sure how good that will be, but even so, it's part of a VR collection. This one, everywhere it's expensive, but I was just doing a random search and it came out that PlayUSA.com, which used to be called just Play.com back in the 90s, and we used to import a lot of DVDs from them before Amazon was a thing. They had this, and they must have had a few copies which they just were selling, and then they just decided to get rid of them dirt cheap, because this was about £9 with about another £5 shipping. So for 15 quid, I got this. I'm not sure if it's Chinese or Korean release. I think it's Japanese, to be honest. But anyway, it's a combination VR game, and on it, the VR fun pack, we have Light Tracer, we have Dying Reborn, which is more, so it's a horror one, plus another horror one called Weeping Doll, and Pixel Gear, which is a more of a probably like a mech fighting game, but it's more of a pixelated type graphics. And Light Tracer, I'm not sure if that's more RPG or if it's got some sort of shooting elements in it. But basically, ones that you can only get in this on physical in this combination. So I'm really pleased to have that. Yeah, so I think there's literally only about 8 PSVR games across the world which I need to get now, and then I have a complete set, which like I said, I haven't counted recently on, but I'm sure it's over 250 mark. So yeah, I'll be glad when that collection's over. Because some PSVR games are dirt cheap, but there's a few exclusives that are compatible with PS4 as well, which I'm more sought after. And there's some that are, only got released in small numbers, and some have even got withdrawn, and they are quite pricey, in a few £100s, which I've already owned, which I'm really glad I, got those when they were retail. So that's it, guys. That's my pickups for the past a month. But I say the magazines and not the magazines, but LPs I've had a bit longer. So that's it, guys. Hope all is well. Enjoy the heat. Speak to you again in probably another 6 to 2 months, because there's not that many going to be many pickups for a while. I might do a collection video next or something, so keep things going. Anyway, take care everybody, and see you later. Bye.